Well, hey there, hi there, ho there, everyone. It is Thursday evening, in case you didn't know it. It's 5 o'clock on the West Coast, and it is 8 o'clock on the East Coast, and it's time for a meeting here in the Learning Wing, and I'm really glad to see all you guys here. We had a great time this afternoon for you Eastern guys, and this morning for us guys here in the Contact List Builder. That was really fun, and I really want to thank Janet for, including me in that and letting me teach some of the stuff that I really like. This is fun tonight, too. Yes, this is the Monty Show. You guys who are in the room are seeing my dog as opposed to me, because by 5 o'clock on a day like this, you're not looking at me. You're going to be looking at Monty. He's actually much more presentable than I am. Let me just jump right into this. I don't think we're going to be here that long tonight because this is some pretty simple stuff, but it's stuff that people have asked me recently. Over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten a couple of questions about how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you do this? And we've talked before about how multimedia files really amount to traffic. And a lot of us are used to, putting our videos on blog posts and putting those in different places on the web, like YouTube or Vimeo or, multiple video distribution sites with links pointing back to our blog so that we increase the Alexa ranking of our blog. And also, we bring more traffic to the blog all the time, because people can find us. If we do this, if we do content distribution of articles and blogs and, videos and press releases and all of that kind of stuff, and we do it consistently, then what happens is basically we build our own web. Really nerdy people will refer to it as link wheels. And there are ways that you can really get specific about how you create link wheels. But we don't need to be worried about that too much, I don't think. For what most of us do, just consistently putting links of good content out there pointing to our blog is a really good idea. Just put it that way. Now, content can take all sorts of different forms. We think of content as articles and videos and things like that. But let me see in the text chat of you guys who are here in the room, how many of you actively and consistently put audio files on your blog? Give me and then distribute them. Give me a yes or a no in the text chat to let me know, who's doing this actively and who's not. Okay. All right. We're getting a couple no's here right off the bat. And I think it's something that people just don't do. And it's really, really powerful. Well, let me ask you this. How high would you guess in the rankings of worldwide websites a little site called iTunes is? You think that one would be pretty high? Anybody want to give me a number guess? Anybody want to give me a number? I can tell you it's in the top 5. I don't know exactly where it is. It might even be number 2 at this point. Google's number 1, and I think it might be iTunes that's number 2. YouTube is right up there. But it is definitely in the top 5. If you can have a bunch of links pointing back to your website from iTunes, that is a very highly ranked authority site, and Google loves that stuff. Now, how can you do that? Now, how many guys have heard the word podcasting? All right, now this gets really complicated. When you think of podcasting, you think of guys, most of us think of guys sitting in a studio, and they're in this studio and doing a regular radio show. They're creating a radio show. And yes, that's basically what podcasting is. But guess what? Podcasting can be a lot simpler than that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about that some, and I'm gonna give you we're gonna go through it'll either be 2 parts or 3 parts. Tonight and next week, or tonight, next week, and the one after that, depending on how it breaks up in my head as we go, or how my head breaks up as we go. But tonight, we're going to just cover some of, one of the very basic activities you need to know how to do to work yourself into a podcast. Now, let me say right away that if you've been in the blogging workshop, how many of you guys are aware of the Odiogo button, of the Odiogo plugin? Do it this way. Give me a yes or a no in the text chat if you have the Odiogo button on your website, in your blog, if it's set up or not. Okay, I'm getting no's. All right, the Odiogo button plugin is something that I recommend. If you have it on it's Odiogo. Let me put that in the text chat. Okay, you can just look it up online. It's not in the WordPress directory anymore, but it's called the Odiogo plugin. And what that does is every time you write a blog post, it puts a little button right at the top and it says, listen here. And then you get a little introduction music, and a mechanical voice reads your blog post. Now, that's very nice for people who are sight impaired, but it does something more than that. It actually automatically registers that blog post as an episode of your podcast at iTunes. So, and it ties in the keywords. It takes the information out of your all-in-one SEO pack and puts it as the keywords and the description in iTunes. So if somebody is searching those keywords, they will find your podcast and a link back to your website. If you go search online techniques, for instance, at iTunes, you'll find a whole series of podcasts, because all the blog posts on that blog are episodes of the podcast over at iTunes. That's one way to do it. And it's a very, very easy way. All you have to do is install the plugin and connect it to your account, set up an account over at Odiogo, and get a little number and put it in the plugin, and boom, you're done. However, a lot of us like to be a little more adventurous than that. And over the next 2 or 3 sessions, I'm going to show you how to put together a podcast that's much more personalized than that. Now, what we're going to talk about doing is mounting a podcast is simply audio files. And we'll be talking next week about John was asking about bumper music and things like that. We'll be creating an intro and an outro using a free audio editor called the Audacity editor. And we'll be looking for bumper music, and we'll create what I call an intro and an outro and a template, so that you can just take your MP3 file, which is your audio file, and pop it into your template, and then you'll get an introduction and you'll get an outro. And mine, the one I've used for a long time, has my voice on it and has some music, and it says, "Welcome to Online Techniques, the online podcast," and blah, blah, blah. And then it'll fade into something else. Now, what does it fade into? Okay, where do you come up with this content that is going to be in this podcast? I can see everybody sitting there going, "Oh my God, here's another thing I got to make." Right? Here's another, I got to start recording these things. Nope. We're going to make it a lot easier than that. Give me a yes or no in the text chat. How many of you guys here put videos on your blog posts? Give me a yes or a no. I think probably that most of us do. I'm going to keep talking because, I'm experiencing a lag from this end. Okay, there's a yes. There's a yes. Now, when you put these videos on your blog posts, some people will do a video and just say, okay, welcome back to the website. Read the article down below and make a comment, and that's it. This is a mistake. Okay, if that's what you're doing in your videos, then if you want to do the podcast thing, you need to change that a little bit. What you want to do in the video is, of course, welcome everybody there and encourage them to read the thing down below, but then explain it. Just quickly in your video, explain or teach what they're going to find in the blog post down below, right? And if you do that, and then at the end of it say, and if you need, if you want more in-depth information, visit this blog post at our website at blah, blah, blah. If you do it that way, you don't have to record anything for your podcast. Nothing. Because you can actually rip that soundtrack right off the video and boom, it's going to be a podcast. So tonight, what are we going to do? I decided that the first thing we needed to do, if we're going to understand how to do any of this at all, is we need to understand just the very basic activity of how do we get an audio file on, in a player on our website. You see, if you have an MP3 file, an audio file of some kind, a wave or whatever it is, you can upload it right into the media library at your blog. However, all that's going to do is give you a link to where it's stored online. If you take the link that your media library shows you and you put it there and say, click here to see this, to hear this, what's going to happen is they're going to click on it and it's going to go to a blank screen while they actually download it into their computer. And that's not what you want to have happen. You don't want to make them have to download an audio file. What you want to do is you want to have it appear in a player on the page. Now, you guys have seen this. Click here to hear the podcast or, listen here or whatever it is. So to do that, you have to have a plugin. So what we're going to do is something very simple here. And we sort of this is just something that we got to get under our belt if we're going to understand how to put a podcast together. Now, do you guys agree with me that having a bunch of links on iTunes would be beneficial for your blog? Let me see a yes or a no in the text chat. If you think if you think I'm wasting your time, we can forget about it. But I'm here to tell you that this is hugely, hugely powerful, and you will get traffic from it. So we've got I'm getting a bunch of yeses there. Janet says, yeah, I keep telling her so it must be true. This is... there's an easy way to do it, which is the Odiogo button. But if you want to get a little more adventurous, then this is something that I really recommend that you get into. And tonight is just the very, very, very basic stuff. So what are we going to do? We're going to get the plugin we need, and we're going to install it. And I'm going to show you how to mount an audio file in a blog post. But we're going to preface this a little bit. We're going to actually rip an audio file and create an audio file right out of a video. So this is going to be really fun. I'm going to go to there, so that's the slide that we come back to. I'm getting excited about this. My mind is going past my mouth. So we're going to go to desktop sharing, and I'm going to start showing you how this puppy works. And we'll take this slowly, step by step. So just hold on a second here. This is my practice blog. And, what we're going to do is we're going to just go to the blog. And on the blog, we don't have anything yet, okay? So we're going to just go ahead and create a blog post that has nothing but an audio file on it. Or we can even put it on the home page. Doesn't matter, one way or the other. Now, the first thing you need to do to put this together and start doing this is to grab a free video converter that you can get whoops, online. And you can get it at that address. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to give you an easier one. Sorry about this. Yeah, no, that's it. That's it. You can get it just by going there. This is a free video converter. Doesn't cost anything. And when you get there, you'll see a website like this. It's DVD Video Soft, and it's you can just download this from here. It's got nice instructions about the whole thing. And when you get it, this is what the program looks like. It's just this guy right here. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to take the video right off the front of the Online Techniques webpage. Have you seen that video up there with Monty and me, sitting looking over the lake and stuff like that? We're gonna go ahead and do that. And we're just going to take the audio off of there and pretend that was something that you'd actually like to put in a podcast, all right? Now, when you get this program, you just open it up, and right in here, you've got this button here. This is where you're going to save your podcast, and you can, create folders and things like there and choose the outputs and everything else. I've already set this up so that it's going to go to a folder that I've set up for this lesson. And if I look at this, this is the folder. Oh no, this is not the folder. Hello, that's just my notepad thing. There's the folder. There's nothing in it but my notepad and this video. Now that video is the one that is on the front page that pops up on Online Techniques. So once I set my destination in here, where do I want to save this audio file? Then I get that set up in there, and then I choose down here what kind of audio. Do I want a WAV file? Do I want to use a lame interface, or do you want to just use a high-quality true stereo MP3? That's the one I usually pick. This thing used to require you to download a lame add-on, but it doesn't anymore. You can just choose this. You can choose your quality over here, high, standard, economy, whatever the heck you want, and then you can create a whole bunch of presets for how you want different things to happen. Once you get it done, get it set, then the only thing you need to do is grab your file, and we're going to grab this, and remember this is a video file, and I'm going to put it in that box there. Boop. There it goes. It's in the box right here. And it's a minute and 19 seconds long, and it's going to create an MP3 and put it there. And it'll be called the same thing. You can change the output name. It'll basically use the same, but if you just leave the default, it'll use the same name that the video is called over here, OT Welcome Video. So I'm just going to tell it to convert. And there it goes. It's converting. It won't take long, not with a minute and 19 seconds or whatever that is. Yep. So we'll just let it go. It should be done any second here. Yep. So I'm going to close this now, and I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. And I'll show you that right here, what we have right here. Look at this little guy, okay? We now have an MP3, and that MP3 is an audio version of this video. Now that was really cool and really easy, okay? I'm going to go to my dashboard and go to plugins, add new, because I've got to put this plugin in here. And boy, WordPress has been being really slow today. Everywhere. All right. And all I'm going to do to find this is to put in audio player. Boop. You can tell I rehearsed. The audio player will come in here. Hello. Yes, and it's usually, if you just search audio player, it's usually the first one. You want the one by Martin Lane, okay? This is a really nice audio player. So I'm going to click install now. Yes, I want to install it. All right, I want to activate the plugin. Zing, 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 zing. Yes, hello. Any day of the week would be really nice. Okay, there we go. And our audio player is activated, and it's right in here, and you'll see that we have settings. So let's go to our settings page. All right. And it's got a bunch of different things here that you can do. And I will run through these things. First, there's our general settings. And what you normally want to do is just leave this, replace the audio syntax referring to that command. Okay. This is the way that most people use it. Now, if you click this one, it's going to replace all links to MP3 files with a player. Now, if you have put these are already on your website. So if you've put links to music files or things like that on a player and you click this, and those links are in the middle of a paragraph, this could look really funny because it's going to insert a player around that MP3 file. Enable in comments. This would be if you want to enable it so that people making comments can put, if they put an MP3 file, it's got a player and will play on your blog. And enclosure integration sets your enclosures. This is an enclosure, a command, manually. It automatically inserts a player at the end of posts with an MP3 enclosure. So, it'll appear at the bottom of your posting. This is probably not something you want to do till you get to podcasting. And the funny thing is, I'm going to recommend a different plugin for podcasting. And I'll tell you why when we get to that. But you can, and then if you're using this, you can move the enclosure to the beginning of the posts. The enclosure means the player with the file. And this will create, the default audio folder will be in audio. So you can verify that this is correctly configured. Let's do that and see what it says. Ooh, not found. Okay. If I want to do this, I'm going to have to create that sooner or later. But in the meantime, I don't need to worry about it until I get to podcasting. Okay. Now the display, you guys have seen this. This is the display. This is what this thing looks like. If you pause it, it closes down. And then if you click play, it opens up and it shows you all these things. Volume control over here, jump forward, jump back, what is being played. You can change the color of this. You can look at this right here from your theme. You can change all the colors, the background, the left icon, the volume control track, the volume control slider, all of these things, the progress bar track. Let's change that. And you can pick a color here, or you can choose one of your theme's main colors, like this. Boom. All right, and I just changed that. I don't like that. It's too... there we go. That looks good. And I can change, let's see, the loading bar. Let's make that a red color. Okay, that's here down here. I just changed that. So you can make this look like whatever you want it to look like. And you can, change the look of it to fit your blog if you want to. Now, feed options. This is where you can change things, to be a download link, or you can change it to be a custom feed. This is going to create a feed. an alternate feed. And when you get to this, podcasting, this plugin actually makes it very easy because you can upload an audio clip that's your introduction and an audio clip that's your outro, and boom, boom, put the links in there from your media library and save that, and it will automatically put your introduction and your outro onto your audio file if you want to. And there's a bunch of advanced stuff here where you can change the, you can put just excerpts that people have to go to a different page. You can change the buffer time, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do here. But you don't really need to be concerned with any of this right now. I would just say leave everything the way it is. Now we've got this in here, and I'm going to show you what it's going to do. What we have to do now is we have to get our file into our blog post. So let's go here, and let's say we want to create a new blog post. Or you know what? Let's put this on our page. Let's just put it on the home page. That way it'll be easier for us to find. What did I call the home page here? Home. How creative I am, huh? Let's look at our pages. Come on, pages. All right. And we're going to go simply edit the home page. Now, I love this new, the new way that the multimedia files loader works on WordPress with the new version of WordPress. It's really, really nice and really, really easy. Here's our editor. And, you would put whatever you want to put in here. Hey, listen to this, guys. All right. And then right here, let's say that's where I want to put my audio file. I want it to be right there. Okay, I'm in the HTML editor, and I'm going to click right here. We're just adding media the way everything else is. The only difference is that we had to do something we had to put this plugin in so that it will give us the audio commands that we need in our media library. Now, I'm simply going to go here, and I'm going to take our MP3 file right here that we just created by ripping it from the video, and I'm going to dump it in here. Boom. We are now saving that in the media library. And it's saving the MP3 file. This is a file that's only 1 minute and 20 seconds long. So it shouldn't take us too long here. I've never been known for patience. Either has my physician. And this will do the same thing as always. It'll get this file in here, and then it'll do a little crunching, and then it'll open up and give us the ability to manipulate the file some and put in. Guys, all of the SEO stuff works the same here as it does for images. You want your title to contain the keyword of your blog post or your whatever it is. You want your the alt tag to contain the keyword. Usually I make the titles and the alt tag. The title will have the name of the post or the name of the blog, and then I'll use the vertical line, which is that thing over the backslash on your keyboard, and then I'll just put the keyword, and I'll do that, in the name and in the alt tag section, and then save the information. You can really do yourself a lot of good if you search engine optimize your multimedia files, your images, things like this. There we go. We're crunching. I'll show you exactly what I mean. A lot of people search for images. Keywords, and then they look for images. And so, if you've got a highly optimized image, people might find it and be drawn to your site. So I would change this to, let's say, this is the SteveGaghagen.net blog. So let's go Steve Gaghagen and then keyword here. All right. And then I would simply take this put it in there, and then I'm going to save all changes. Because this will now search engine optimize my, I always want things to come up, where I am. I want to dominate when people search for me. And now I want to put this in the post. And I'm going, now see this button over here? Guess what? That's what the plugin did. This changes the link. Watch what happens right in here when I click it. Aha. Look at this. It put an audio command, an audio player command right there. And if I go to the end, boop, you can see there's a bracket around the entire link that starts here, bracket audio : and then the link, and then the bracket to end it is at the end. All right. And this is what you need to do. And all this does is make it easy, because I can select this right here, and then I can say insert into post. Boom. I don't even have to do it. And there it is. This is the command that needs to be here. All right. Now, I'm going to just update this page. And theoretically, we should have this as soon as the page finishes updating. I'll call you in 20 or 30 minutes. Here we go. There we go. All right. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, but I'm going to try and make it so you can. There we go.
If you have not been here before, this is the website that I've set up along with my partner Kate, and the company is.
Do you guys hear that?
Techniques, and here you will find everything from web services, website building services, traffic generation services, all the way to straight-on internet marketing training.
Okay, that's the audio from that video, and we've got a player right here on the website. Okay. So that is it. It's really not that difficult. I'm going to stop the desktop sharing and come back in here. And I told you it was going to be short and sweet. I couldn't figure out how to do this in a way where I could go on from now. If you look at the clock right now, it's about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. And right now, the next thing would be, how do I create my bumper music and do that audio editing and stuff like that? We've learned how to put the audio file up, but to get into the next step, which is do the audio editing and create your template for that thing, that's going to take more than the 20 minutes we have left. So I decided that this was what we're going to do tonight. Now, and we will continue in the next week with putting our bumper music together. Now that we've got an audio file up there, how do we create things that actually can be presented as podcasts with really nice intros and outros in sound files? And we'll do that next week. Does anybody have any questions about what we just did right now? It's really, really simple, but you just have to make sure that you get the plug-in, okay? Now, I want to remind everybody, whoops, that was not supposed to be on there anymore. See, this is what happens when you modify your slides at the very last minute. Because I came on here and I sat down and I discovered that my first slide said mounting Audi files. And it was like we were doing something with German cars. So, of course, I want to remind everybody about Saturday, where I think most of us are every Saturday. And John's asking a question. We should use our own music or voice on our blogs to make sure YouTube doesn't give us a slap, right? Not necessarily. There's a lot of free bumper music out there that's open source that you can use. In fact, I'll probably give you, I have a really good large file of a lot of bumper music that is open source stuff, and I'll probably just supply you with it next week. Okay. And everything from rock to weird spacey sounds and all sorts of different things. So, no, it's not that restrictive. There's a lot of stuff out there that people won't have any problem with you using. But now I wouldn't go out there and pick some big top 40 song and start using it. But there are, if you get out there, if you search, you can find places selling, just go to Google. You'll find places selling bumper music. You'll find free sources of bumper music where they say, just take it and use it. And also, I'll be giving you a good folder of all this stuff. So Saturday at Janet and Don's. Janet, you want to come up and let us know what is going on there? Please.
Saturday, we have a great call in store. Marilyn Martin, good friend of mine and fellow Net Learning Academy instructor, is going to be coming and sharing some inspiration with us. She's going to be talking about using visualization and having a winning mindset. And that's something we talk about a lot on our calls and through all of our training. It's something I really focus a lot on. It's something I work on constantly, is a winning mindset. And it really does make a difference. So we're pretty excited about that, and really excited about the launch of my daughter's book. I'm trying to find it. It seemed to have disappeared on my desk. What does that tell you? What does that tell you guys if her book has disappeared on my desk? There it is. You think I need to straighten things up a bit, but there it is. Pretty proud of that. My daughter has her first book published. It's up on Amazon. Really exciting for her, having the launch Saturday. So on Saturday, I'm excited that I get to sit back and relax and be inspired, because Don does his 10 minutes or 15 minutes of inspiration, and then Marilyn's going to be talking about, really using that visualization. So I'm not sure how much you guys use visualization. We talk a lot about it. Steve does a guided meditation that helps us visualize on Tuesdays. That's really what it's about, right? Focusing on your mind and picturing things, and I think it's going to be a great call. So I hope you guys will all be there. Just go to getlivetraining.com. I'll have to get you to change that URL on your slide there, Steve, if you don't mind. I'm always changing things, aren't I? You must drive you crazy. Get Live Training. I finally set up a website just for our webinars. So I do think I have them all listed there too. And we're connected on Facebook now, so we'll be broadcasting live from Facebook. Really excited about that. I'm excited about what's coming together there, the social aspect and the viral aspect of being able to broadcast live on Facebook. So I hope you guys can all be there Saturday at noon Eastern. And Steve, thanks for another.
Well, we lost the very end of what you were saying there, Janet, so at least I did hear. So it said, Steve, thanks for another... I'll try and figure out what that was. You want to know what's funny? I am completely set up with this room in the online techniques page, and I totally, absolutely forgot about it. So... I absolutely forgot to do that today. Very strange. Anyway, that basically is it. I will see you guys there on Saturday. That's going to be very cool. I forgot that that Marilyn was going to be in your thing, so that's going to be really nice. And this one has got the wrong... Oh, you see? This is what happens when you change your slides. That's not what's going on next week. What's going on next week is we are going to continue from this point and take the next step, which is getting ourselves with a good intro and an outro template that we can just stick our sound files into, blog post after blog post or video after video. And I think that'll probably be all that we cover next week. And then the week after that, I'll show you the other plugin that truly turns these audio files into a podcast. The one we use tonight is the basic one for getting an audio file on your blog so that it'll play. But the one that I'm eventually going to be showing you here actually creates a podcast at iTunes, registers it, and every time you put a podcast up on your blog, it's automatically registered and mounted over at iTunes, so that these things really can start bringing traffic back to your website. So that's it. I want to thank you all for being here. We got a 45-minute one today. That's pretty darn cool, I think. People are used to, oh, Steve's talking, bring a sack lunch. But this one, I think, was just perfect. That's the fundamental stuff we have to learn for the really good stuff that is going to take place over the next couple of weeks, so that you can get a podcast set up on your website that it's pretty much automatic. Just usually takes you 10 minutes to put it together. If you go to stevegaghagen.com and you go to the blog there and go through the blog posts, you will see, listen to the podcast right at the top of the blog posts, and that podcast is registered over at iTunes. So that's it for now. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to stop the movie for purposes of the movie here, and I will be sticking around if we got questions or discussion on anything that wants to go on. Thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next Thursday evening, same bat time, same bat station, here in the Learning Wing at Online Techniques. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.